Hey everyone, TimaeuSS, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. So Honkai Star has launched, and I hope you're enjoying the game as much as I am. We've got a new tier list that's been updated for version 1.0, as you can see here, from the Pride1 guide group. And I'm in the game already with my silly at E3, very lucky, and super happy about how my polls went, and I hope your polls are just as good. So let's take a look at what has changed. Now, a lot of characters had their ratings shifted, mostly due to the fact that they were either buffed or nerfed as per CBT 3, so Closed Beta Test 3 versus the full release. And my waifu here, Seele, is of course still sitting at S+ tier in general, 1 target and 3 target. Right now, in my honest opinion, Seele is probably the best unit at the moment, not accounting for units that will be released later on, such as Jingyuan, which we did test for CBT 3. But Seele is the best. In terms of DPS simulations, some of the DPS simulations, because they could not simulate extra turn mechanics, so it was discounting some of the damage output from Seele. But so far, Seele is still sitting at the very top. Please do note though, Seele at its highest power spike is going to be requiring E2. They moved the speed buff from stacking twice to E2 instead of E1, so it's going to be slightly less free-to-play friendly, but I will make a detailed guide video on Seele. But if we take a look at the rest of the tier list, we can see how things are going. And of course, Seele at the top, S+ for the damage dealers. The other three that we have right now, Clara has always been the AoE, very good AoE unit SSR, so she hasn't really changed much. In fact, she got a slight buff in release versus CPT3. Himiko though, my goodness, finally Himiko gets to shine out. So what changed for Himiko is essentially now all of her skills will apply burn, so this is much better for Himiko. Previously, I think only her auto attack or her skill apply burn, but now every single attack from Himiko has a chance to apply burn, which is fantastic. And we still got the really strong single target Sushen sitting at S tier for you free-to-play players who are using her for a single target if you're skipping Seele and waiting for something else. The rest of the damage dealer, nothing else to really talk about besides Yanking, who unfortunately got moved to general A tier, but still a very strong S tier single target. The downside is too gear hungry, too stat dependent. Late game, I would rate Yanking a bit higher, but so far at the current moment, the skills, even though he got a slight buff, whereas he doesn't consume the freeze in the Eidolon upgrade, but still is not, in comparison to the rest, is not at the very top. Arlen, on the other hand, was the free-to-play 4-star god in terms of damage, but he got nerfed. He got quite a heavy nerf, and he's no longer that good in comparison to CPT 3. So that's the damage dealer section. Now, if we look at the offensive support and debuffer, so Bronya has changed. Bronya was able to infinitely use her ultimate if you casted the speed extra turn buff on Bronya herself, but they've changed it. So now if you cast the extra turn mechanic on Bronya, it doesn't work like that. You cannot infinitely gain ultimate for her to use, it was bugged essentially. It was so freaking bugged before. It was too strong. I'm glad they fixed it, but that doesn't change the fact Bronya is still the best, the best supportive utility unit in the game. Super strong. And Tingyuan is still very good at the very top as a 4-star for S+ supporter, and she is going to be, I believe, on the next banner as well, along with March 7th with Jingyuan. So if you want to pull for her from a banner, you could consider the next banner. Now, Pela gotten a lot better. Her defense down is super strong, and of course, being a not so hungry in terms of skill point user, she pairs really well with Seele, because Seele takes so many turns and defense amp is much better. So overall, Pela is great in the sense that the wealth has also improved, because wealth now has the damage increase skill. So previously her Eidolons, his Eidolons and some of the skills slowed. Of course, it still does slow. The kit right now still slows, but and also provides a damage increase debuff, whereas before it was increased as ultimate damage. So even better for the team, because now your entire team does more. Asta, I think, didn't change much, and that's it for offensive utility. Now the defensive supports, right at the very top is freaking Bailu. Bailu, if you saw the Japanese live stream that we did, Bailu saved that guy's run. Okay, we had a run and Bailu was essentially turned the game into easy mode. Super strong with the revive, and if you ever have the chance to have Bailu turn into Eidolon 6 with 7 copies total, it's a different game. It's just a different game. Easy mode is on. You'll never have to worry about your units dying. Bailu is that strong. Now, this Trailblazer, for those of you that don't know, Trailblazer Fire is a tank / support hybrid that you will unlock later on. By just playing the game, you don't have to do anything, and you can unlock dupes for him as well, or her, depending on which MC you chose. Now for the Fire Trailblazer, a very, very potent, strong, supportive tank that is not skill hungry, and a perfect fit anywhere. So this is why Gepard is S rank instead of S+, just because the Fire Trailblazer gives so much more support in comparison, and is not as skill hungry. Of course, March 7th has now moved to S tier. This is due to the fact that Gepard and March 7th and pretty much all the HP healers as well, they got a buff. Okay, I'll tell you what that buff is after I take a sip of water. So the buff is they had a slight nerf to their healing or defense buff percentage, but it increased the flat percentage, the flat value that was added. So let's say he was getting 20% defense plus 50 flat defense. Now he's getting 18%, so 2% less, but maybe potentially 300 flat defense more. I don't know the exact values, but that is essentially what happened. They increased the flat value in comparison to CPT 3 and tone down the percentage. So early game is very good, and of course late game, as your stats get better, it's still very strong. And that's what makes March 7th even better now, is that shield that she gives is very, very good. And last but not least, we have Natasha, the free healer. She's still sitting at A rank. The heal is, I think, really, really strong. Especially later on, you upgrade the traces and you can dispel the debuff. But it's just a bit less in comparison to Bailu. Bailu is just too freaking strong as a defensive support. But anyhow, that's the quick breakdown. And again, tier lists are always subject to change. And I'm sure you can find a team that works for you that may be using, A rank or even B rank units. Let us know how that goes. But this is the release version tier list update from Pride1.gg, from the guide group that I am in. So let me know your thoughts, and yeah, hope you guys pull all the S+ SSRs or 5 stars, and good luck. It's TimaeuSS here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye now.